This is Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie.
Join us for unbuttoned and unedited conversations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome Mitch Alcala. Welcome, Mitch.
Well, thanks for having me. Nice meeting you guys.
Yes, it's so fun to meet you. Thanks for stopping in today. We're here to talk about your upcoming projects. We know No Mercy is available now on Prime for pre-order. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that film?
So it's a movie I did last year, and it's kind of like an interesting sci-fi film about it's kind of like I call it it's kind of like The Fugitive meets Back to the Future, because it's kind of like one of those movies about the main guy is kind of on a run. I think he's from a different time in the future, and he has the ability to travel in different time zones.
Okay.
And I think I think people he's on the run being chased by people because of a special ability he has. So it's kind of like that sci-fi kind of thriller kind of story, but it has an interesting love story. And the character I play in that movie, I have a little small part, but it's kind of a very memorable part, a very important part where I kind of how do I say it without spoiling anything? Because I'm maybe I'll just, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything. I kind of kill a love interest of the main character.
Okay.
So I kill a girlfriend of his, and he kind of gets furious and it goes rage, and that's how it starts the whole plot, because he's kind of that's how he goes on the run, because he's kind of being chased in the beginning, and I kind of kill and he was him and his girlfriend, and I kill his girlfriend. And then he kind of goes on a run, traveling different times. And that's kind of how the whole movie starts, him running. And I think he's kind of he kind of starts he's kind of heartbroken because he lost his love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your character kind of propels the storyline.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Yeah. So you actually play Caleb in this. So do we get to learn anything more about Caleb?
Not really. It's a really small part. He doesn't really have much of a background. He's just kind of a small little character, kind of start the whole plot of the whole movie.
Yeah.
So
how fun is it to come in and get to play a part like that, though?
Honestly, those are kind of in a weird way, those are kind of always been my favorite kind of characters to play. Those kind of villainous kind of characters, or those anti-heroes. Those are the kind of characters I prefer to play. It's more fun to play characters that are they're kind of troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
They have they're kind of convicts or criminals, or they even have some major issues. Most of the time when I play, most of the time I get casting roles, either a small part, big part, is usually a villainous kind of character. I play a henchman. I play a guy who has drug addiction, drug addicts, or emotional, or somebody who's very emotional, who just cause drama. The bad boy, the troublemaker. I love playing those bad boy roles, those anti-heroes. If I was gonna do a superhero movie, I would love to do Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad was one of my favorite superhero movies, because about villains being forced to play heroes. Those characters have always been interesting to me.
Okay.
So. Is it easier to find your character space when you've got what niche they're sitting in?
Yeah, I think I guess I have a good understanding why they're like that, in a way. Yeah. I guess I don't know why. I guess I understand sometimes, people go through tough things in life, and that's what pushes them to become people are the way they are, how their life is. They go through tough times and struggles and pain, and they, I probably, because I've met so many people in my life that went through hard times, and they get into drugs and alcohol. They become really sometimes when you meet people that are so mean, they're very rude, but they're usually like that because they're feeling some pain inside. And I think I understand that, because I remember there was times when I was feeling some pain in my side. I was being obnoxious to people, and it's just my way of saying that is just I am truly not happy, feeling joyful inside,
Right.
And I think I do have a good understanding why people are kind of why they kind of show their darkness a lot. you understand.
I think I love a kind of a superhero movie or any other movie that's kind of like about a dark side, because the stories usually aren't black and white. Actually, there's a lot of gray for the hero and a lot of gray for the villain too. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, like if you watch movies like even like Loki had like some kind of backstory
yeah,
for Marvel's, like he was evil for a reason. Like there's always a backstory while how people become evil. Like if you watch the Star Wars movie, Darth Vader had a past as well, how he became to the dark side in ways because of some things he went through. So they
Right.
do have a interesting back, and that's why I think villain characters are always been interesting to me.
Yeah. And that's probably why you get cast in that kind of role so often, because you can kind of find some sort of compassion or connection and really bring that to life on screen.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
makes sense. Yeah.
I think for actors, it's easy to play characters when you can truly relate to and understand. And I've been through a lot of tough stuff when I was a kid. I remember hanging out with it's when you're a kid and parents are always worried about how kids hang out with the wrong kind of crowd. And I was definitely one of those kids who kind of hung out with the wrong crowd, like because the type of high school I went to, kids like to do like do trouble stuff, and
Mhm.
I was the kind of kid who always wanted to hang out with those troublemaker kind of kids. I think it was just my way of fitting in,
Right.
because I remember I watched some movies where sometimes a kid would just want to hang out with some kids just to fit in, even though they're kind of like kids who get in trouble a lot, at night, do some vandalism, like crazy stuff, and the cops will catch them. And I remember I was like that kid who always got involved in people like that. So I do have a good understanding for that kind of character, that kind of person.
Right.
And people, when people see me and everything, it's always about typecast. So when people
Yep.
see me, they definitely see a dark edge. Like they always see this, like I have a dark look, dark edge. The way I talk, sometimes I can play like that psychopath killer, that creepy killer, or I definitely get dark roles a lot. Very little light. Like sometimes I'll get the boy next door kind of
I was
character.
just gonna say, but I could see you as the guy
Right.
trying to save the farm.
Yeah, I could also play like the farmer, but
Yeah.
I could play the mysterious person too, because I have that mysterious look in a way. I could, like, when people, like, if somebody, I could play a farmer, and someone, like, if some love interest, some girl saw me, they could see like I could be like that mystery man. I can't, like,
kind of the introverted guy. I could totally
like
see that.
The complex person you can't read. So
Right.
Yeah, I can totally see that too.
One thing I liked when we were looking through your website is I love how you have all your like character character looks listed. So people, I don't often see that on websites. So I think that was kind of fun. All the different,
yeah, I think most actors, when they do headshots, they mostly just want to look good.
Yeah,
want to show their pretty side, but I think it's good to like show different characters so you can play different roles. So I have some shots that shows my handsome charm in a way, but I also want to show that I can play like different character roles, so I have more expansion. So like most actors, I think they just want to look pretty and look good for their pictures usually. So like I'm definitely like the kind of actor I want to be. I definitely want to be like a character actor, kind of like the actors I want to be. I always looked up to was like Heath Ledger and like Christian Bale and Tom Hardy and Jake Gyllenhaal. Old actors back in the day was like Marlon Brando. I love watching Marlon Brando movies and James Dean. I love James Dean. So like when you mentioned that farm person, I was thinking like James Dean, like on Giants or East of Eden or something.
Right. Yeah. No, I like. You need, like, you can't just have the pretty girl and the pretty boy. That's a very boring, flat story, right?
Yeah.
So and a lot of like the thrillers and stuff. It's like you want those very like raw characters in there that have a look and a style to them.
Yeah, like I don't want to you don't want to just do the romantic movies like most actors probably do. Like I wouldn't mind doing those kind of movies. I think those movies would be. I like doing all kinds of movies.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to do suspense thriller kind of movies, or those dark, like really good drama movies with great acting in it. So
one thing we've learned doing a lot of these podcasts, we do talk to a lot of rom-com TV movie actors and producers and directors, and the two genres really overlap, where a lot of the people making the rom-coms are also making like thrillers and
Thrillers and killers. Yep. The horror.
Which is really kind of fun.
Yeah, these same production companies make both things. It's kind of fun that if they're going to be a TV movie, they use the same format and the same production crews, which is something we've learned while doing this. So it's super fun. We're like, oh, let us know when your next thriller, chiller, horror, natural disaster movie.
Yeah, like now, because now these days, like a lot of people like to work with the same people mostly.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like because they want to build relationships with people. They want to work with people they feel comfortable with. Because there's times where people can hire people and there's drama on set. They don't want to deal with drama queens and drama kings sometimes.
Right.
So, yeah, like I met some people who really likes to hire. Like most of the time, like on my IMDb, I got most of my credits because people I've known relationship wise. So that's usually how people get a lot of their work is relationship wise, and they just want to hire you again. If I'm lucky, maybe the people I work on, No Mercy, might hire me for another project because they said they like working with me. So that can happen sometimes.
We think those connections are incredibly important in this industry. We've been able to watch those roll out in front of our eyes as we've talked with people along our journey too. And I agree. I mean, it's like once they know how you work, sounds, people get connected then. And it's kind of fun to see when the projects keep rolling out. But you've also done some vertical series. You did My Ex is a Superwoman. Tell us what a vertical series is.
Yeah. So, because a lot of people don't know what they are. And they're kind of like new. I kind of like did some research on them. So apparently they start out in China, I think like in 2019. And some production company there decided to do like a series for so basically they're like a movie. They split into 1 minute episodes and you can watch it on a mobile app. So apparently there's like 5 different mobile apps. There's some called Drama Box, there's some called Flex app, Real Shorts, and they're basically like a streaming service.
Okay.
And basically they are kind of like movies. They just split into 1 minute episodes. And it started out in China, and then eventually they started doing American projects like in 2023. So it's only been around for 2 years, and they're pretty much just like I said, like they're just like a streaming service on a mobile app, and they film it vertically,
right?
Not horizontally. So it's like that's why they're called like vertical. They're called like vertical short series or vertical mobile series because they're a mobile movie that you watch vertically. And they split it to 1 minute episodes. And the first 10 episodes are free to watch, but the other episodes you either have to pay for it to unlock it, or you can watch advertisement to unlock it. And then and they're usually like probably 7 episodes, and each one's like a minute long. So they're like kind of like almost 80 minutes movies that you can watch on your phone. And it's technically a movie designed to watch on your phone.
Right.
That's kind of what they are because you've watch it because you watch it like vertically that way,
like a real format.
Yeah. So you can either watch on your phone or your iPad, and they've done a lot of projects on those. Like if you go on it, there's like so many you can watch, and apparently they do have a following. Like fans, they do have a bunch of fans that do watch these shows, and that's how. And a lot of actors been doing that the last couple of years, and the cool part is they're all like non-union projects, so anyone can like submit for those projects. Right.
So tell us, how do you get involved in something like that? Like how did you get into that?
I audition like basically they're on the breakdown service like on Actors and Casting Network, and I submitted myself and I got called in for auditioning for like lead roles and main role. So I have been auditioning for like almost a year. So basically actors that they just keep like auditioning. I've probably done like 20 auditions of vertical mobile series like every month. And then eventually I did like I've done like probably 100 auditions for this, and eventually they start to remember you because it's the same people constantly, same casting directors, same producers. I work with some of the directors more than once, so they remember you and they recognize you. And then eventually if you I think they save all the audition tapes.
Right.
So when you send audition tapes, they always saved it and they put you in a file. And then one day, and they remember you. Like if you do a good audition tapes and they love your demo reels, and eventually they'll call you for something. So
Right.
that's kind of like what happens.
Yeah.
So eventually a lot of actors, they just kept auditioning and auditioning, and if they like what they see and they're just waiting and they feel like there's a project you'd be good for, they'll call you. And that's usually how the business works. Sometimes they have to see you like a bunch of times for auditions, and they have other projects, and they'll just call. When they find something that you feel that you think you can play, they'll call you in for it.
I can see this style of movie really growing actually over time, because honestly, people watch on their phones. That's what they do. And
I think that's why they started to do that, because since everybody's on their phones all the time, and since they watch like TikToks clips all the time, because might as well make a mobile app, a series that people can watch on their phone, and then and they advertise it on Instagram and TikTok. Sometimes I see advertised for these series on Instagram, on TikTok. So they use social media to advertise it.
Yeah. Now that I'm kind of figuring out what this is, I realize that those pop up for me all the time, but I never really realized exactly what it was. So maybe one of these days I'll watch one.
I mean, I've only watched the ones I've acted in, and some of them are pretty decent, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like the way that how it is. It's like a rom-com. They're like comedy. It's like a mixture between soap opera and Hallmark style. It's definitely soap opera. Love triangle drama going on, like a soap opera way, and the way they film it's almost like it feels like watching a Hallmark movie.
Right.
So that's the best way to describe it. And it's only been around for like 2 years. It started out like in 2023, and we're on in 2024, and now we're on 2025. So it's very new. And so maybe like in 5 or 10 years from now, when people might know about it, and people might start getting into it. So
I could actually see that's going into a whole bunch of different genres. Like I could see kid shows being done this way, and like lots of things being done this way. I think about those old Nickelodeon shows, like those would have been really those would have fit really well into that setup. And those kids are watching on their phones all the time. Right. And so it feels like an area that could grow exponentially, honestly.
I was talking to some actors on set, and then we were talking about it. Eventually, it probably will grow and be very popular. Like it's like, since it's new and not many people know about it, because not many people know about it just yet. Like people ask questions, like because people have asked me, like, what are these things you just done? These vertical mobile searches, and then that's when I explained it to them that a lot of actors didn't know what they are. They didn't even know what they were when they were auditioning, because some people ask like, they've been auditioning for these things. Like, what are these things? I don't even know what they are. Even talent agencies didn't even know what they were, and they were submitting. And so it's because it's very new. It's just started. It's just something that someone just started doing it, and it just hasn't got out there yet. So
I could see it catching on though. I could see even big streaming services like Paramount Plus and Amazon having vertical choices for people. Like that might become, how they have like their sections, and then actually vertical streaming becoming a section. Like I can actually see the growth for this.
Well, I'm pretty sure Disney or Netflix or any of those will eventually do it. Once they realize if they make some good money out of it, they probably will. Because I'm pretty sure whoever does these mobile things, I think they do make good money out of it. Because people do watch it, and they do charge to unlock the episodes.
Or advertising, like you said, like so.
Yeah, because that's the cool part. They do advertise. They show advertisements for different mobile apps or companies. So they get money out of that. So they probably make decent amount of money. And I'm pretty sure once the word gets out there, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to do that for kids, for like a Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah, I can totally see it. Disney.
Because like you said, since everybody are on their phones all the time, you might as well make something just for people to be on their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that, like a more modern day, like Hannah Montana type of show. Like, that the tweens can all be watching. Tell us, Mitch, about how do you film these? Are they filmed like when you film a regular movie, or is there something special that?
Yeah, it's like a regular film production. Like it's like an independent film production. Like they have the whole crew, the lighting, the cameras, But the one thing I've noticed different from an action film, like usually how they have the camera, they usually put the camera on its side.
Yeah.
That's how they
Okay.
film it vertically. And
Yep.
when they have like those TV monitors where the director looks at it, instead of like on horizontally the way they usually do, they put it on the side. I just noticed they put it on the side so because they have to watch it vertically.
Yeah.
They have to because they have to put the camera in a way, and because since they're shooting it vertically, they have to make sure they get everything in the shot.
Right.
So that's the only difference. But it's just like it's just like a regular film production. Yeah, it is like for actors that don't have any credits in acting or have no experience on being on set. This is actually a good way for beginners to like get that experience. Like if you're non-union and these are non-union projects, if you're not part of the union, and if you want to do some projects and audition, and if you want to have some like IMDb credits, because these kids IMDb, I think this is a good way for beginners for sure, because it has that independent feel, because it's exactly like an independent production. It's like 20 crew people, actors. They pretty much have everything they need to make a project, like makeup artist, the sound person, the producers, scout locations, and
so you get it all.
Yeah, they get it all. Stunt crew, because some of these vertical mobile series are also action packed, because they also have like werewolf series and vampire series and mafia series. So sometimes they're just not just drama. They can have like some of the ones some of them I just did recently. They had some like cool action scenes where they hire some stunt people to do some stunts. So that was kind of cool. So they are kind of entertaining in a way. They're like short, like 70 to 80 minute movies stories that you can watch on your phone, like if you unlock each episode. So yeah, they're kind of like fun little projects to do.
Yeah.
So how many of these have you done?
So far, I only did like 7 of them.
But still, 7. That's
And how long does it take to film? Like, are you there a couple of weeks to do?
Couple weeks. It's like a really small, low budget project, and I think that usually takes like 12 to 20 days of filming. It depends on the project. Sometimes it'll be 10, sometimes it'll be 15, and sometimes 20. So usually 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Right.
It's definitely like an independent project for sure. Right. Because depending on the low budget, it usually only takes like a month to film. That's what they kind of are. They're kind of like independent movies that they film for like a month. So,
yeah. Cool.
And they film it I think they film like 6 days a week, and the hours are like almost 14 hours a day. So
yeah, I bet. So how many of these still are that you've been in are still waiting to be available for us to watch?
So I got 2 new ones coming out. Like I mean, I don't know if you saw, and I just had this new one about this cowboy vertical I just did, and that was kind of like seemed was fun to shoot. I have another one called the title was called my what was it called? It was my childhood sweetheart, and then it was kind of like another like drama story, like that social. And that one I was playing like a kind of like I was playing another villainous character. I was playing I always get cast as those dark criminal characters. I was playing because I played a henchman. I played a person who was trying to I played a drunker once in a strip club and causing problems in a strip club. And these new ones coming out that hasn't come out yet. I played a guy that was kind of like a creep, kind of like set up the leading lady, blackmail. I was blackmailing her. I was trying to make fake pictures, and then because she got drugged, and I was trying to blackmail her, and then she took a glass and hit me in the face, and I bled to death. And the main characters came in and punched me in the face. So that one. So I always interact with the main characters. That's just kind of cool. But I'm always playing that villainous character. Right. And I have another one called it should probably come out. That one will probably come out in a couple months because I just filmed that just a couple weeks ago. That one is called My Vampire's Bodyguard, which is about a vampire story. And that one I'm playing like a shareholder. That was probably like the biggest part I ever done because that was more like a few days kind of shoot. That's more like a small supporting character story. And that's kind of like a story about. Actually, that's like an interesting story. It's about rich vampires that are billionaires that has they're very rich people that works with different companies, but they're vampires, and the main girl falls in love with someone that happens to be a vampire. That typical Twilight story. So
Right.
You happen to fall in love with the vampire.
yeah, they do stories like that.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
it has those kind of series like the love vampire stories or the
Right.
werewolf stories. So
But this feels like what you want to watch on your mobile phone when you're trying to pass some time. Like I could see this genre actually blowing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Plus, the ability to make it with a reasonable budget is actually a very positive thing. So I don't know. These sound kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like I need to watch one now.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you can definitely like watch the ones I appeared in. Like check out the new one I did, like the Billionaire Cowboy Runaway Bride. That actually looked like an interesting one that you can watch on the mobile app. Like I would check that out. And I'm actually excited for the vampire one. That actually looked, when I was filming that, it had some really cool action scenes in that, and the acting was some of the acting is pretty decent. So there's actually some that are interesting to watch. So check some of them out. So
definitely. Tell us, as we were researching you and we were looking at your website, we see you have something called Mitch's Comedy Corner. What can you tell us about that?
So I mean, I usually don't call myself. I don't really call myself that, but sometimes when I do like acting and improv, a lot of people think I'm a funny guy. Like I could do. Some people think I'm just a natural doing comedy. So like sometimes I will do like in my acting class I'll do like some like comedy monologues or improv things, and apparently I always know how to make people laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like when it comes to comedy, it's just super easy for me. Like I don't have to think about it. I don't have to like work hard for it. And sometimes and then we like to film it, and we like to film monologues and film reels, and then film it, and then we kind of put it on YouTube. I have some like monologues or like some improv things on YouTube where I do some like funny comedy monologues and funny like improv scenes, and I put on YouTube. So people just call me like the comedy genius in a way. So that's just like, even like some people think I could do stand up, even though I'm not really passionate. I mean, I don't really have a passion to do stand up thing, like, but I think some people are trying to convince me to do like some stand up.
Gotcha.
Like, like every time I do like a project, like some people just want me to be funny in a way, and I don't want to be just that kind of actor that can just be funny all the time. I do want to be like serious in a way. So because I do want to go back and forth. I just don't want to make like comedy roles and be funny. I do want to do like dark dramatic roles. So people just see me as the comedy. I could play that comedy was maybe like kind of like Johnny Depp in a way, or like Jim Carrey in a way, or Robert Williams in a way. So this is something that people like think I can do. So
a lot of drama has comedy in it, though. Like that's part of the story arc. So it's always a good skill to have. What is your YouTube channel that if people wanted to watch your comedy bits?
I mean, if you type in Mitch by name, and it should pop up, and it's just my name. So
yeah, perfect.
So, yeah, and right now, and eventually it just started, so it'll start growing in time. So eventually I'll have more materials that I'll film and then put it on the. So just to see what people, so people can see what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, right. Love that.
Yeah,
super fun.
I think it's fun to kind of, you're always typecasted in these darker roles, but then you've got this comedic side to you too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good skill to have. It's kind of like Ryan Reynolds, because he's good being funny, but he's also good at doing dramatic roles. I've seen him in some dramatic roles he's done. He's good doing drama, but he's great doing comedy. Right. He's great doing Deadpool. And even like Ryan Gosling is starting to do more comedy, because I remember I used to watch him in his dramatic roles, and now he's trying to be more funnier, and like in movies like Barbie and Fall Guy. So it's kind of like, it's good to have the range where you can go do both. Like people like Robin Williams was good at doing dramatic and comedy, so it's good. So I think I'm glad I have that kind of skill set.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right. So good. So you realized your acting talent at a young age. Tell us a little bit how you figured that out.
Like how I figure out my talents, like
or how you wanted to be an actor. Yeah.
oh, okay. So for when I got interested in acting, probably when I was 12.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I think because I mean, like most kids, they just like watching TV most of the time, watching like Disney Channel, watching Nickelodeon. I like watching movies. I was like, so I guess since I was just obsessed with watching like TV all the time instead of like doing my homework and going out much, I guess that's when I got like really interested in that kind of world about filming and playing characters. And when I found there was the opportunity to do the same, and since I think I was like thinking about me, I was always a daydreamer as a kid. I always like to pretend to be other people.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, so I guess that's probably why I like acting. I like just to fill in a different shoes, just pretend to be someone else that's not me. It's just for some reason it's just fun for me. I just like changing my voice, acting differently, saying things I would not usually say, telling the story. I like entertaining people, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's something I wanted to do when I was 12 years old, and I've been wanting to do that ever since. And there's literally nothing out there that I like to do. Acting is literally the only thing I like. So if that's the case, I might as well just keep pursuing it to the very end. I mean, since there's nothing out there I really find happiness and joy, I might as well just pursue just one thing because I just love acting so much. So
Well, how cool is it that you're living your dream?
Yeah.
Living your childhood dream. Yeah.
I mean,
or on your way.
I'm on my way. How do I say it? I mean, I'm happy that I'm starting to start working. Like, you fantasize like how much you want to like start acting, and there's times where you struggle a lot. And I'm glad that I'm able to do some working projects, and I got making a relationship with people. I got some like other projects I'm gonna start working on with people, but it's really slowly growing, and I'm definitely building relationships. And I built some relationships with people in the past. I remember I did a pilot thing in the past before with people I know. I've done some like a lot of short films that I got on YouTube, so it's been good. It's definitely been growing, and hopefully it will keep growing even bigger one day. Hopefully I'll be able to do more feature films that'll get sent to film festivals and streaming, and I'll be able to make a good living at it, making just money doing acting. So I'm glad it's starting to grow and improving. So I'm really happy. Like I've done like so far 8 projects in the last year, and there'll probably be more coming soon. I'm living that life as an actor, doing auditions and doing projects. So it makes me happy. It really does. I like doing it finally. So
what was your very first professional project?
Professional project? Like let's see. Big professional project because I've done
just first one you got paid for. It doesn't have to be big.
Oh, okay. I probably a commercial in San Diego because I was living in San Diego when I was pursuing acting, and I was doing some auditions in San Diego, and I done some like internet commercials in San Diego, and that was probably like one of my first time I got paid.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, because in the beginning I remember I was doing acting for free, not getting paid.
Right.
But when I started like booking like San Diego projects, because I had like a San Diego agent, I booked like this like industrial commercial thing that I got paid like $700 for, and being paid for my acting, it just felt good. It just really good. Right? And then I started doing other I did like a lot of like media commercials, like advertising some mobile some abs and stuff like that in San Diego, and I was getting paid for it. So I think my first like paid acting thing was like when I did like media commercials in San Diego. So that was like my first.
That's fun when you finally get to get paid, right?
Yeah, it's like for a while I was doing acting like just for free, just to get like a resume and a reel, just for like get experience. But then eventually, when you start getting paid for your acting, that's when you realize, oh, I'm officially an actor.
Yes,
because you're not officially an actor until you get paid for your acting.
Right.
And that was when I got first paid, was when I did those commercials in San Diego. And then I finally, after that, now I only do projects to get paid for. I don't do free projects anymore.
Right. Right. But it's a journey, and I think people love to hear how the journeys go. And I always love the early commercial stories. It's like, well, I did this.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I don't. Most people don't talk about those, but most actors always start doing commercials in the beginning.
Right.
And I definitely remember my commercial shoots. I've done like a few of them. I think I remember those shoots. So they're usually a lot of fun. But in time, like I feel like most people would rather do film and television than
Right.
commercial.
Right.
Because commercials are more like a sales kind of job. You're trying to
Yeah.
sell something. So it's more fun to play a character in a film or TV show.
Right.
I will admit I would rather do film and TV. I don't get excited to do commercials
Right.
anymore. I will admit sometimes I don't really care for commercials. Like if I do commercial auditions, like I don't really care for it. I only do it because it pays well, but I don't really get excited.
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
I
It
mostly
doesn't
get
excite
excited
you
for, like,
creative. Yeah.
Yeah, I only get excited to play a character in something, like in a film or like a series or something. So yeah, I get more excited doing like those kind of stuff. So I got really excited when I did like my first like low budget independent feature
Mhm.
film.
Yeah.
So that was playing a character, and I remember my first like full length, almost like 90-minute feature film. It was very low budget, and I was playing a villain kind of character in that. So it's like that was a lot of fun. I remember it was a very low budget project that got seen in the Phoenix Comic Con, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
The Comic Cons are a big deal, so that's
Big.
cool. Mitch, would you like to play a game with us?
yeah, love to.
It's kind of a game. We're just asking some of your favorites. So, do you have a favorite movie?
Oh, good question. I always feel like that changes. I do have a favorite movie because I have a favorite franchise, and that would be the Fast and Furious movies.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I love the first Fast and Furious, and I do like the whole franchise of it. So
Mhm.
I mean, there's a reason those movies are iconic. Like the visuals, everything about them is,
Yeah.
you know, just
So because I was a big fan of the very first Fast and Furious, I really did love that movie when I saw it. I was a big fan of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and
yeah.
so yeah, and I am a big fan of the whole franchise. So they've been doing so like that's definitely like my favorite movie franchise for sure. So.
Yeah, you and many other people.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and millions and millions. Just, you know, so good. Do you have a favorite TV series or something you're currently binging?
I have a lot. I think I love The Walking Dead. That was like my favorite show when I was, and I like a lot of supernatural shows. I was a big fan of Teen Wolf when it was on. Yeah. And I watched the movie. So I was excited for the movie. So I'm a big fan of like Teen Wolf and Walking Dead. So I'm a big fan of when it comes to supernatural shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watch Angel, Vampire Diaries. I like those are kind of my favorite shows. And I like Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So I like a show about so I like those martial arts kind of fights. I like show that involves a lot of fighting. So those are like my favorite shows.
Yeah, we've had Martin on and his son too. So
Martin Cove. That's right.
Yeah, Martin Cove and his son.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when you're not acting, what's something you like to do? Do you have a hobby?
So my favorite hobbies are usually kid stuff. I like to go rollerblading at some rollerblading place. I like VR stuff. I like virtual reality games. So sometimes I'll try to convince some friends of mine to go do VR, do some kind of virtual reality to play like shoot some zombies. Yeah. That kind of stuff. So and I usually just go to the movies and just watch the movies. So that's pretty much it.
Love that. And then do you have a favorite music, song, band, group style?
My favorite band will probably be like Linkin Park.
Oh, okay.
And I like Imagine Dragons. And so those are like my favorite like kind of like metal rock band, like rock bands. And I like all kinds of music, honestly. I like rock, I like hip hop, rap, like hip hop artists. I like Usher, I like Justin Timberlake, I like Ludacris, Flo Rida. And I'm not really into country music that much, even though I've listened to some countries, but I'm mostly into hip hop and rock music like that. And, some hip hop artists. I listen to Justin Bieber sometimes. So yeah.
Everybody listens to Justin Bieber.
Everybody does.
Sometimes.
How could you not? Mitch, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so people can find me on Instagram. I got two Instagram accounts, so they could just type in my name and my last name, and they can just and my name can pop up. Or if you go on Google, if you just type in my name, you can just find my IMDb page, my Facebook link and Instagram link, and my YouTube link. So people can just type my name and some things will pop up. So
Yeah.
And on my Instagram, it has a link to my my website, so people can check out my website too. But
Yep,
all my materials, all my acting stuff, and my headshots are usually on my Instagram.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just type in just my what is my Instagram name? Like if you type in my first name and my last name in 1990, I should pop right up. So.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to say I could check for you. Perfect.
Cool.
Well, it was so fun to meet you. And we will definitely have to check out your films, and everybody should go and pre-order No Mercy on Amazon Prime. And there was one other place it was available.
Apple TV.
Apple TV.
So be on Amazon Prime and Apple TV and some other streaming ones. So
okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening or watching, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Mitch.
Bye.
Bye.